You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
Just maintenance. No, yeah. I talked to him, on there, and just he got out for a little bit, and then just he got what he needed today.
Yeah. I know you said the other day there's no chance that these guys return on the road trip, but obviously, is Kirill going to see his doctor and get medically cleared to return? Or?
You know what? I don't know if it's necessarily medically cleared, but he is going to go. It's more of like an update of where he's at and maybe what's the next time frame. Okay. I guess would be more than saying cleared, right. But I think where is he at now after his last checkup? Now he's done some things and expanded. Like, where is he really at, now? And then maybe that might give us a little bit more clarification on.
So you still are convinced he's not going to play on the road trip?
Correct.
Okay.
You mentioned yesterday that there were a lot of things you wanted to address. Do you feel that this practice is satisfactory to what you're kind of looking for and moving forward?
Yeah, I thought we had a good. We had a video meeting this morning and just addressed some certain areas that we needed to tighten up, and some of it was. Some detail things where we gave up some easy offense, which we don't traditionally do, and we just need a little tightening. Like we didn't get the end result. A lot of the reasons we didn't get it was our own faults. How can we be better in that area, and then come out and have a good team practice and work on some of those areas that we talked about. So I felt overall we needed to have a productive day today, a team day. Tighten it up before we go on the road, and I thought the guys responded well. I liked practice, and now we got to go back at it.
The one drill at the end where you had Hartman and Foligno in the corner, Hartman and Foligno, was that more like puck battle drills and puck support?
Yes, it was more of closing in the D zone and puck support and closing quick, and then not just closing quick, but where our support options are. And then if we win possession of the puck, where those support options, if we're in strong position, then we have options to be able to get out of the zone. So it's more like coming into D-zone coverage, ending plays, closing plays, and coming out of D-zone coverage, which was, a little bit, it wasn't as strong as we needed it to, probably in the last couple games. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was good. And then some of our rush stuff was addressed in video.
Mm-hmm. You said before the surgery that Kirill at 60% is, better than, still one of the better players in the NHL. Knowing what the point standings are, knowing all of that, and how desperate your team is now to keep piling up points, is Kirill at 90%, tempting to get into the lineup, or where are you at that way?
I don't know. I'll probably know more after he sees a doctor. I don't. I just know that he's gone back. Like I said the other day, they've started on ice with the trainers, which I wouldn't classify as skating. It's more rehab, like you would in the gym. They came out, have skated a few days with Ness and things like that. Now they get into team practice, but they didn't do any contact, right? So it's whereas now with Eki, there's a timeline, which we'll have to see where he's going to be at and how he feels, and then Kirill, obviously post surgery, going back to see the doctor, and then we'll have probably a better feel after that examination.
It sure feels almost Kirill's a little ahead of Ek. Is that fair?
I don't know. You know what?
Just based on the timeline question that you just asked.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think with Eki, some of that's going to be where he's at and how he feels truly. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, I don't know what the doctor's going to say. The doctor may say, "Hey, he looks good," and it's as soon as he feels good, get him in some contact and he can play, or it's going to be another time. I don't know. That's why I don't want to say that one's ahead of the other. I think we just need to wait and see what happens with Kirill.
The player you were just talking about was Kirill, though. What the doctor would say.
Correct. Correct.
You talked about standings before the playoffs and scoreboard watching. Are you guys still kind of trying to avoid that? And in general, can that do more harm than good, because it's out of your control, right? What other teams are doing, the points as they move. What's your approach on that?
Yeah, I do talk with the team. It's not a focal point, but you do understand when you say that. If you go home and wake up in the morning and have a coffee and you watch NHL Network, well, you're going to know what's going on. So there's certainly an awareness to what's going on, but it is for us. You're aware of what's going on, but we know that anyways, right? So if we can continue to win and get points, then we're going to control our own destiny. We can't control what the other teams do, and as you guys know, that's why you play the games, right? It's obviously a shortened season coming down, but there's each week, to me, what I've seen, it's changed. right? It's with that week we beat LA and 1-3. That was a week. This week it wasn't as good, but we still find a way to get some points, and some other teams lost. So you can't control it. So we've just talked to our guys about focusing on what we can do and what we can control, and that's our games and our mindset.
Where do you feel Marco's game's at right now? I mean, just obviously offensively it's not happening for him, but Vegas was one of the first times we're in his own zone. And I mean, again, I'm not the technical mind, but it looked like both goal scorers on 2 of the goals he was on, he lost. I mean, do you feel like his game has taken a bit of a turn? Like, I don't know if he's tired or hurt or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that I think some of the detail things and the focus things can be a little bit better, along with our team. That's why I felt too, even after the Washington game, like there were some things that needed to be addressed, but the rest and recovery is important. Even yesterday we met on the day off as coaches. For example, here were some areas if we were coming in I would certainly address, but then we just made cut-ups and showed guys individually when they came in for the game to make sure that those areas were tight. Then last night, like I said, we just for whatever reason we didn't have the focal and the details that we needed, and I think it's kind of seeped into the game just a tad. I'm a little bit like Marco, like it's not bad, but there's a little bit of a misassignment. It's just off in those areas, and we're at our best. It's tight, and we wanted to tighten it up individually and collectively as a group now that we're going on the road.
As these guys get closer and closer, how much is patience a challenge for you as a coach? I mean, obviously you want your full team back as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's not really hard for me. I mean, my focus always is about the guys that are in the lineup, and I can't control Kirill and Eki and what their rehabs are going to be and what the doctors are going to say and things like that. And if my energy is on that, then I'm taken away from coaching the team that we have, and to me that's what it is. I certainly respect those guys. Would we like to have them back in the lineup? Certainly, they're great players, great guys, key parts of our team. But until someone tells me that they're coming back in, my focus really is the group that we have, the focus that we have, the details, and making sure that the team is certainly prepared and ready to play. Better than we were last night, but I think over the course of time here, it's been pretty good. Last night was it. We addressed it. Now we'll move on. And when those guys are ready and able, then my focus will change.
Medical roundup, is Declan Chisholm possible to return on this trip at all?
I believe so. He had a full skate today in a team practice, so I'll see what happens with the trainers after. But I don't think his injury is significant. Obviously, a good sign that he was full participant in all the drills today.
Yeah. Foligno did say that yesterday that if it was up to Kirill and Eck, they would have been back, weeks ago or yesterday. Exactly what he said. But I mean, that's probably like we're watching them in the press box watching these games. I mean, it's got to be beyond aggravating for them to, have to be out of the lineup watching this.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're with the amount of time that they've been off, I certainly see that. Even you see them come out in practice, you could just tell that like it's the first time they've been around the team in a practice. Just their adrenaline, and they were excited to do it. And I think the guys, were happy to have them back. But it's certainly, they're great competitive guys, and they want to get back, but. It's probably hard on them too, right? They come out and they can do a lot of things and they feel like they can do it, but then there's the medical part of it that, you have to go through the process with it. But I think they've done a good job, and I'm pretty confident when they do come back with the work that they put in, they should be ready to go.
Yeah. John, what's your relationship like with Jay Pandolfo and 3 Frozen Fours in 3 years as the coach of BU?
Yeah, Jay and I were teammates. We have a really good friendship, and he's done a great job. I think he's taken over the program, and he's obviously recruited really well and has run I think his coaching has obviously been good to be 3 Final Fours, and I think he's 13-0 as a player and coach in regionals and NCAA regionals. So it's nice to see him do a good job. Program's close to my heart, but the job that he's done and the leadership he's provided has been exceptional.
I think he played in 4 Frozen Fours as a player and now 3 in a row as a coach.
Yeah. Jay's been he's done a great job. It's good to see because he's such a good guy, but he's doing a tremendous job.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.